More violence is expected in Egypt's Port Said after a court said the 21 death sentences handed out over the football riots, which killed 70 people last year, will stay in place. It's also been announced that 5 more people have been jailed for life. And let's turn now to our correspondent, Belle True, who is in Egypt for the very latest. So, Belle, what can you tell us about the court's latest decision?
Well, young Port Said activists wept and held their heads in their hands as the verdict in this contentious Port Said stadium disaster trial was announced. People I was sitting with knew some of the 21 defendants who will be executed. The judge said today they were shouting at the TV screens, "What about the police?" 5 people have been given life. Some police officers also will face jail sentences, including the head of security, or the former head of security here in Port Said, SM Samak, who's been given 15 years. However, the feeling here is that Port Said is definitely being targeted. I spoke to a leader of the ultras here, the ultra-hardcore football fans, but who are very key to this whole situation. He said to me that the treatment of the Port Said people is similar to racism. Port Said residents here feel like they are now in a separate country being targeted by the government, and that this verdict is proof of that. So a lot of anger. What's going to happen next is that the ultras, again these football fans, will gather at their stadium where the massacre took place in February last year at 12 p.m. and stage mass protests. They also plan a series of strikes and civil disobedience across the city in the coming weeks.
Well, as we know, the death verdicts in Port Said that were sparked in late January and that continued for more than a month claimed about 70 deaths before. So what kind of reaction do you expect to see now?
I think right now we're going to probably have quite a lot of violence in the afternoon as people really express their anger at this verdict. As I said, people are gathering at the Port Said Stadium at 12 p.m. We're not sure entirely what their plan is, but definitely protests will happen. There have been a number of funerals in the last week as these clashes, these 5 days of clashes, continued between police and anti-government protesters. The police have vacated the streets. A number of them are actually striking. They say that they're not being treated fairly by the Ministry of Interior. The army are securing the area, expecting further violence to develop as the day goes on. So at the moment right now, people are reeling with shock from the verdict. They're tense and they're extremely angry.
So how much security is there at the moment? Is there enough security, you think, in the streets?
What the government did after these clashes happened that saw at least 7 people die is they secured the area with the military, who are literally standing behind me at the security directorate that's been the focal point of the violence in the last 5 days. They also got rid of the security chief of Port Said and have basically placed the care of the city in the hands of the military. We expect them to up security in the coming days, particularly with this verdict that was announced this morning. And we wait to see what's going to happen here.
Right, Belle, thanks very much indeed for bringing us the very latest on the situation there in Egypt. Our correspondent, Belle True.